All right. Well, good afternoon, and thank you for coming here today. This is something we've been looking forward to for a while. We're here at a very prominent gateway in our city, near the right by the intersection of County and South 6th Street. At what has been for the last 6 or 7 years a vacant lot, recently reacquired by the city from Whale. This is commonly referred to as 1 Washington Square. There was a house that was here for an awfully long time and burnt to the ground 6 or 7 years ago, but we're here really to turn the page on that chapter by announcing today that this parcel will forever be known as Tom Lopes Park. And so many of you knew Tom. There are many folks in the audience who are Tom's family and loved ones, and you'll hear from some of them today. But as you know, Tom was a pillar of our community for really his entire adult life, and a leader of the Cape-Verdean community in so many ways, and most prominently known as the first Cape-Verdean state representative ever elected in Massachusetts history. And that is a big deal and a real milestone, not just for the Cape-Verdean community, but for New Bedford generally. He was the longtime publisher of the Cape-Verdean News as well, and involved in countless community groups and initiatives. Tom was always in the thick of things. Tom, of course, died in 2012, and we all remember today his legacy. Some months ago we unveiled his portrait at the library, and that was a fantastic occasion, and we are paying tribute to Tom in a very an even more public way today with the groundbreaking here and the construction of a park that will be centered around a statue of Tom that we'll talk a little bit about in a second. But this is the result of a really good partnership between the city and Whale and neighborhood works of southern Massachusetts. You'll hear all about that as well, to commission a statue by Eric Durant, who has done fabulous work in sculpting what will be the Fisherman's Memorial statue that will make its appearance in the not too distant future. Many of you have seen the renderings of that. The effort grew out of a community engagement process initiated by Whale and NeighborWorks to develop this site, 1 Washington Square. In the process revealed tremendous community support to create the memorial sculpture of Tom and to build a small park right here that will be a fabulous public space and something that we will all be able to enjoy, we, our children, and our grandchildren. Given Tom's enormous contributions to both the Cape-Verdean community and to New Bedford generally, I, from the start, have wholeheartedly supported this project, and I'm very personally excited about being able to kick it off here today. So we wanted to use today's occasion to reveal the design concept for the park, which is right over to my right. And I want to thank a number of folks here. I want to thank particularly Mary Raposa, our Director of Parks and Recreation. Where is Mary? There she is back there. Let's hear it from Mary. So Mary, you might not know this fun fact about Mary. Mary, of course, does a fabulous job as the Director of Parks, Recreation, and Beaches here in the city, and has expanded our city's recreational programming immensely in the 3 years she's been in her position. But Mary is a landscape architect by training and by profession before she became the Director of Parks, Recreation, and Beaches. And so, every once in a while I have her step out of her position and design a few things here and there, and so this was one of them. And I think it's gone through a pretty rigorous process. It's really creative, but I think what it does is it really highlights the vista coming north on County Street. We're going to get rid of that big light pole, and you'll see when you're driving up County Street or walking up County Street, you'll get to see the site with the statue right about where I'm standing right now. And it'll be a fabulous site. The statue will be slightly elevated and lighted at night, and as you can see in the rendering, it'll be the centerpiece, the focal point of the whole design. So it's going to look fabulous, and it's going to be a true gateway to this part of the city, and something that we can all be proud of. So I want to say that I also want to thank Pat Sullivan and his shop, the Community Housing and Community Services, Housing and Community Development, for all of their assistance in moving the project along. And I also want to thank Ron LaBelle and DPI in advance for their construction of the park. Much of this work will be done by city employees, our very talented city employees who have worked on great projects in recent years like Custom House Square and the Harbor Walk and the cobblestoning that we've done of late. They do great stuff. We've got really talented people in our workforce, and they're going to be working on this one as well. So I just want to say also, I want to thank the support that we've received from the City Council. I'm going to call up City Council President Brian Gomes in a second, but I know Brian will tell you, and I'm not going to steal his thunder, but I'll tell you that the City Council wholeheartedly supported this. This was a no-brainer from the start to honor a man as great as Tom Lopes. And I made this point to Lenny the other day. This project is about beautifying the neighborhood. It's about honoring the legacy of Tom Lopes, and it's also about reinforcing a big part of the city's identity. New Bedford is the Cape-Verdean capital of America. I don't care what Brockton says or Boston says. This is it. And the longer I'm in office, the more convinced I am that the more things that we do to reinforce our identity, every element of it, whether it's some of the reinforcing the identity of the ethnic groups that have made up our melting pot over the years, or our history, our whaling history, our textile history, our fishing history, the service of folks from New Bedford in our nation's wars. The more that we reinforce that, the more we gain a greater sense of community, the greater willingness that all of us will have to serve our community in the future, not just us, but our kids and grandchildren, a greater sense of belonging we have in this place. That's why, one of the many reasons why this is such an important project. So with that, let me call up City Council President Brian Lopes to say a few words on behalf of the council and personally.
He's going to get you.
Wait, did I say Brian Lopes?
You said it. Yes, you did.
Whatever his name is.
You said it.
City Council President Brian Gomes will say a few words on behalf of the council, but more generally as someone who is a good friend of Tom Lopes, on behalf as a friend of Tom, and as a leader in the community. Brian, what's your name? Whatever it is.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. It's a distinct honor and a privilege to stand here today. And Mr. Mayor, if my name is Lopes for the next half an hour, that's quite all right, because the Lopes family is quite the family. Okay, so if it has to be Brian Gomes Lopes, it's fine. Okay, all the media got that. Again, thank you very much, and happy to see everybody out here today. Right from the beginning, when Tom passed away, the City Council took action to make sure that he was remembered for his initiative, his contributions, and it was only to be followed by all these other groups, including the Mayor's office, because of the significance of what Tom Lopes was all about. And if I may just have you for a moment, Tom, I have often called, and his family stands here, a gentle giant. When I say a gentle giant, he was a gentleman. He was a gentleman to all. Tom never had a bad thing to say, not even to the politicians. He would have a comment, he would have an opinion, but not a bad thing to say about anyone. Tom was committed to this community. He was committed to the state legislature when he was up there. I can remember when he got elected, how proud I was. And how proud I was because I'm Cape-Verdean descent, and I knew Tom. And for him to take an office like that at the time, and the times that it was, that was a great achievement, ladies and gentlemen, a great achievement in the state of Massachusetts, a Cape-Verdean being elected to the state legislature. And don't forget, until they turned the lines, which this councilor never agreed with, and maybe many of the community, as they drew up the lines that somewhat cut state representative out, was not happy at the time. But Tom, the gentle giant that he was a man who loved this community. He loved its people. He was there in the thick of things. When the moss cutting tools was contributing what it was to the environment and to the people of this area, Tom was the one that was standing up. Tom was the one that was out here with me and another council late at night as we watched the asbestos fly around, and the fire department was down here after a break-in or whatever. Tom was always around. Tom cared about the people, he cared about the city, and while being a legislator, did his job, and did his job to the finest. This is a suitable location that has been picked for what the mayor has expressed. You'll be driving north and you will see the statue, one that I think everyone will be proud of. The Cape-Verdean community, his family, and the city of New Bedford, because Tom Lopes was a representative of the people, and nothing less than that. With his newspaper, with his approach, with his just concrete feet on the ground, and not ever taking no for an answer, and just looking out for the well-being of everyone. I could stand here and tell you stories all afternoon. I know that I've loved to tell the story about Thursday nights, and it's Thursday night, and usually if I got out of committee early, girls, you know about where me and Tom would meet. We would meet up at the mall. Because Tom, as I did, would be out there looking for deals, okay? So you find me and Tom and J.C. Penney with jackets over our arms. What you got? Oh, I got this. You got any coupons? I got coupons. And we would smile and we would laugh about it. And it was a moment in time that it was a great friendship, and just a man that I respect. So I stand here today on behalf of the entire City Council and the community to say thank you to all those responsible. This is going to be a beautiful, beautiful park here, and it's going to be a voice of Tom. I think he's looking down on us today because, you know, the day started off rainy and somewhat a little sad. And then about 10 o'clock or so, we seen that sun come out, and I was very happy because I was thinking, as I said to one of his sisters earlier, that I was going to call the mayor and say, I don't know if sure we can do this. It may be raining, but the sun has come out, and so I think Tom is looking down on us, and I thank you for the opportunity. This is a great man. This is going to be a great park, a great symbol of what Tom was all about, and I'm happy to have been a part of it. God bless you all, and thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate it. And I think there is a sale today at J.C. Penney in case you're.
I got my coupons.
All right. You know what Tom is next best known for, and this has been true through his entire life, is that he had 4 very good-looking sisters who attracted all the attention in the family, and that's something that he had to overcome as a kid. One of them, or they're all here today, to my left. One of them is going to speak, and that is none other than Debbie Ramos, who has been instrumental in moving this project along with her husband Lenny. And this is a day that the entire extended family, the extended Lopes and Ramos family, are celebrating, and we're just so pleased that we could be a part of it today, Debbie. We just ask you to come up and say a few words.
Thank you. Thank you. And as Brian said, the weather changed, and it's like my brother is looking down on us today. I am so proud that my sisters are here with me today to see this happen. The people that have been very supportive, along with the mayor and the city council, Mary Raposa, Will, Terry Burnett, the Island Foundation, Denise Porcher has been a great help to us. Our sculptor, Eric Durant, the Recognition Committee, and Neighbor Works of America, the New Bedford Cultural, and family and friends of my brother and of the city. I know my brother, he was such a humble man, in that if he was alive and we wanted to do this, he wouldn't allow it. He'd find someone else to do it for. I hope that we have all made him proud this day, and as we continue with our project, I hope he continues to look down and help to improve the city, and when people look at this statue, when it's completed, that they will continue his legacy of finding love and peace amongst each other, and treating each other kind, and being there for one another, because that's what he was about. Not only was he religious, he was truly a man of God, but He was just a people person, and he didn't like any conflict. And so if this park is going to represent him, this is the best place that it could be, leading into the city. And I hope that everyone here will be here with us in the spring when we continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie. All right, next up, I want to introduce somebody who's really, another person who's really spearheaded this effort on behalf of NeighborWorks, but also as a friend to the extended Lopes family, and that is Jackie Pina, who's been with it the whole way. Her passion is showed from day one and right up through the present day, and we're so lucky that Jackie has stepped up and helped make this happen and worked so collaboratively with everybody with a level of determination that's necessary to get projects like this done. So I want to have you come up and say a few words, Jackie.
Well, the first thing I can say is that this has been my family since I was a child. Debbie and I were best of friends in the village. We grew up together. And of course, I remember this family particularly because Dolly and Lee used to bake cakes. So I enjoyed the snacks. But this has been my family. And the way this came about to me is through my job. I work for NeighborWorks Southern Mass. And we do many things, but that's not what today is. But through sitting there and working in the community, you never know who's watching you. And I was quite surprised when I was asked for my input for this particular area. Terry came to my office and she asked my opinion about it being a gateway park. So I said to her, well, if you put a memorial of Tom Lopes, you'll have everybody in. So there it was. And I considered that a blessing for me, because I was able to do this for my second family. And I get very emotional because I love Tom. I loved having fun with him dancing on the dance floor with his two-step. But it's been a pleasure. And I mean, what a better place to have it right in our own community. I mean, and then today, I mean, that sealed it. That really sealed it for me because it was such a beautiful day. But again, I'm just very proud of my second family. I'm proud of the fact that God gave me that gift. And of course, my mother's child that I am, who was very involved. And that brings me to a point when my mother passed, Tom did a story on her, and he labeled her as an activist. And I called him and I said, why would you say that? Well, I'm not going to say what he said to me because I can't fully remember the whole thing, but he made it very clear to me who my mother was in this community, other than the fact of me knowing her as she was. So I'll always hold those words dear to me, and that's what brings this stuff together. That's, you know, it's family, and we are a community of family, no matter who's here, whether it be Cape-Verdeans or any other cultures. But I know, I've heard him throughout my years, that our Cape-Verdean family, once somebody in the family accepts somebody from the outside, they're in their family. So I'm very proud about that. And I want to tell you, who has really been supportive and helpful with me is Lenny. Lenny and Debbie, they have been right there on both sides of me to make sure we get the stuff done that we need to get done. So without them, I wouldn't have been able to stand on this. So I'm just glad to say that I'm just thrilled. I need to say, Yvonne, we took this a step further, and I want to thank the United Way for giving us the grant to do so. There have been 7 youth that have worked with Yvonne from Real Serious. And what they did was a documentary on Tom. They did their own questioning, they did their own interviewing. They formed this whole thing through her guidance. And tomorrow it's going to be viewed at the Whalen Museum. The reception is 6 to 7, and then the filming will be at 7. You have to see this. These kids were amazing. And the good thing is that Tom has his great niece,
Yes.
great niece, who was a part of this. So, I mean, it just, again, family. So please come out tomorrow and see this. And we have one of our intern students here today filming this too, to add it to our film. So anyway, I thank you, and I'm very pleased.
All right. Thanks, Jackie. And you're right. Real Serious has done a great job. You guys, this is something that everybody should come out and see tomorrow night at the Whaling Museum, 7 o'clock, right? Reception.
6 to 7.
6 to 7 reception, and then the film right after that. So spread the word, get it out there.
And it's free.
And it's the right price. Yep. So I just want to acknowledge the presence of a number of folks who've been very supportive. Chuck Carter from the park board. There's Chuck. Jim Lopes, who's on multiple boards, Historic Commission, Regeneration Committee, MB Beautiful, etc., etc., etc. Thanks for coming today, as always. I wanted to call up Terry Burnett from Wales to say a few words. This property had been Wales property to effectively restore the house that existed there. There was a tragedy. The house burnt down some years ago, and right as the project was about to get going, and Whale took a shot at building a replica, and I think made the real wise move to give it back to the city so that we could do something just like this. And so it was through the real wise leadership of Terry Burnett and her board to make that what was really a tough decision, but the decision that was in the best interest of Whale and in the city and for the neighborhood. So I wanted to ask Terry to come up and say a few words about that. Terry.
I'm just going to say a few words because I'm really overwhelmed by what everyone else has said, and they've told the story so well. But it's been such a pleasure to work with everyone. And as the mayor said, Wales had a very long investment in this property, and we're looking for an outcome that the neighborhood could really wrap their arms around. And when I first started working with Debbie and Len and Jackie, I knew I had found the people to make this happen, and they've really put their heart and soul in this. And then the city's involvement, and Mary coming up with the beautiful design, and Eric coming up with the wonderful design for the sculpture from family photographs that Debbie had brought to a meeting. So we're more than pleased, and bringing this forward, we'll do anything we can do to make it happen. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, the sculpture is amazing. I don't know, do we have that? Is it depicted on there, Eric?
No.
Well, so we must have that kicking around somewhere, right? We have the photo. Anyway, if you haven't seen it, check it out because it is the perfect image of Tom and for this place. A welcoming gesture. It's exactly what we want to convey as a city and as a neighborhood, but also it captures Tom at his essence. So you'll see it when it's done. But Eric is working away on it. He's a fabulous sculptor, and we're so pleased with that he was able to do this project. Last up, I'd like to invite up Jack Livermeno from the school committee to say a few words. Jack has been a big supporter of this project. Jack.
Very good. Thank you. Just a few things. Tom was really a friend of mine and a really compatriot. I was godfather to his first child, Christine. But that was not the only connection. We had a close connection because he lived in the community just a few houses from where I lived, and where I've lived for a long period of time. And a number of issues that we worked on that we were concerned about also resonated with myself. Tom was also a member of the school committee, or ran for school committee, I know that. And in that process, I think, tried to really put forward what many of our youth need to do, which is get a good education, go on and become as wholesome and as good a citizen of the city of New Bedford, and really to come back and contribute. And that was Tom. You know, the thing that we miss today is the CVN. The CVN was a paper that our community had as a foundation via which a lot of information, a lot of things that occur within the city or occur within the community and even outside the community were there. Tom was at all those events making sure that that information got back to the community. obituaries, etc., etc. He was always the person who provided that information that we need. We no longer have the CVN. Tom is no longer here. We need someone else to step up and start doing that type of thing. I thank the entire Lopes family. I thank the community. I thank Jackie and all of the persons who really have worked on this project to really make it a good foundation and a good step forward for our community as we begin to revive ourselves and to become aware that we do contribute and we do have something for the rest of the city. Thank you.
Thanks, Jack. All right, we have our ceremonial shovels, we have our ceremonial dirt. We're ready to go, so let's proceed to the groundbreaking.